And it's time for more Minecraft and Formula 1 talk. And Formula 3 and Formula 2. Man, let's go to Formula 2, Formula 3 fast. Let's see. Because man, Formula 3, that was... Oh shit, it's Formula 2. And... Yeah, red flagged. Who's the guy? Luke Browning crashed out, made a red flag, and yeah. So the 24 seconds left on the timer didn't got used, and people that were on the maybe a fast lap didn't get one in. So for Bogdanovic, it's really good that Lindblad is 22 and Mine is behind him. But man, he has been so lucky. But nope, it was unlucky, and Dylan Bogdanovic had one more qualifying bad. And hopefully Fronrolli had a good qualifying. But hopefully the people will because a lot of people is, you can say, not where they maybe should be. Maybe that will make so more stuff happen in the race, and then the Bogdanovic can score in the both races. But yeah, so not much to talk about, because man, wanna see Bogdanovic doing good, not bad. And then in Formula 2, that was worse than red flag, I would say. Just they did all the runs, and then they were just done. Nothing more to. They did their lap, and then it was some people in the end tried to do something better, but no. Only Versure succeeded to at least beat P10. But nobody after that succeeded to do anything, so it was like... Yeah. Start. At the start, what the fuck? Yeah, he just ended. 2 minutes early. But let's see. Yeah, so Versure, Maini, then Maloney, Antonelli, Dennis Hager, Victor Martins, Bortoletto did somewhat good qualifying. Hadjar also. Fittipaldi for some reason up here, but Paul Aaron, pole position, so he, let's see, him and Paul Aaron and Hadjar are fighting for the championship. But let's see, Formula 3. Let's see if Fernoli the only one that's a big target. Let's see, Lindblad and Miney, yeah. They are behind Bogdanovic, that's somewhat good. Luke Browning, it was said something that he maybe would lose his lap time. They do maybe something like IndyCar. So only from a Rolly. Let's see, Goethe. Is he... Oh! Look, Brown. Wait. This person, yeah. So Goethe and Luke Browning. Yeah, so everyone that's are above beginner, which is behind. Mansell will maybe can have a good race. Okay, but the people that are above beginner, which did qualified worse, that sounds good. And Bertoletto is that. But yeah, time for the more interesting thing. Formula 1. I mean, Formula 2, Formula 3 is like somewhat. I mean, for me, it's like IndyCar. Can be watched, but most likely it will not be fun. I mean, the only reason why I watch it because I mean, Formula 3 because Dino Beganovic. Same with IndyCar. Let's see, only reason why I watch it is because let's see, Marcus Ericsson and do we have? No, wait, shouldn't he be Rosenqvist? There we are, Felix Rosenqvist. Oh shit, he's above Marcus Ericsson. That's somewhat sad. But yeah, the more interesting thing, Formula 1. Oliver Bemer apparently did some testing in-house. Almost better than Kevin Magnussen. They would be something if he actually was. Alpine didn't do a good start. So Paris, I mean, somewhat good. I mean, I better than what could have been. But yeah, nothing much happened in practice 1. Oh, this is something big, you can say. Jürgen Ju succeeded to beat P5. That's the only thing I would say was maybe the big thing. I think he was even P3 before, yeah, Josh Russell and Charles Leclerc did the practice. Then practice 2, the amazing Charles Leclerc strikes again. Oh my god, he did something. And it looked like a big crash, but also didn't look like a big crash. It looked like it can end more bad than it did. It looked like only the front wing actually got damaged. Yeah, did something more happen in F1? Well, you can say red flag after that, but oh yeah, Jürgen Ju almost crashed into Perez. That was something that happened. Yeah. The only, let's see, yeah, Kevin Magnussen being up there was something that you can say was somewhat interesting. Oh, so Perez finally up here. Hopefully he will continue being up here, so he can have one race when he finish at least on the podium. And all the talk about Perez out of Red Bull is just vanish. And then maybe talk about the Ricciardo should maybe leave Visa Cash Up AB Formula 1 team so they can bring Liam Lawson. Oh, Alexander Albon was at least top 10. But yeah, the big thing was Charles Leclerc. Oh, Logan Sargent was also up there. But that's maybe too late. Like with Kevin Magnussen. Too late to be sorry. Yeah. That was my recap. Recap? of Formula 3, Formula 2, Formula 1. So Formula 3, nothing need to mention. Bad qualifying for beginnerish. Feel like always. At least other people had awards qualifying. Let's see, 1916. So we over 2000. Then there's just 700 left. What more? Yeah, Formula 2, like the cliffhanger of nothing. 2 minutes left and they done their runs and nobody is trying to... I wonder if someone could have waited with doing the qualifying lap and just do it in the end. I mean, it will be really risky, but if you will and let's start really low down, why not? Try it. Maybe become high up. Maybe in the points, who knows? Oh yeah, this is something need to be shown again. Cherry saplings. The problem is I finally got them, but I could wanna be like, this is the first cherry sapling I bought from the traveling trader, and I already have a chest where I put the first item from the new update in. So in my head I can maybe still not wanna use them. So I need to get one more wandering trader that can sell me some blossom trees, and then I can use them on my island. First fish for today. Stripy blue light gray. I feel like I already got one. One of these. Or maybe it was light gray blue. Or gray light blue. No, gray. Blue gray, gray blue, or light gray blue. Could that be one more? Yes, it is. And man, Charles Leclerc, what will he succeed to do and come back tomorrow? Practice free. Learn to not crash out so he can qualify and have a good... Oh yeah, how... Let's see, Mercedes. George Russell 5. Lewis Hamilton 7. Oh, that's beautiful. If we skip Charles Leclerc and Oscar Piastri, so do we have Lando Norris, McLaren, Max Verstappen, Red Bull, and Carlos Sainz, Ferrari and Sergio Perez in a Red Bull above Mercedes, and hopefully it will continue so in the race and the qualifying. So hopefully it will keep being really warm, so their work with the tires will be really bad. Let's see, can we get one more, or will it be time? Yeah, sure. And let's see, what do we have? Okay, Autosport did something about McLaren beat the heat. I don't know what the fuck will they want to talk about that. Then we have P1, and Matt will probably really be happy with the Charles Leclerc stuff. And then of course we have Peter Visser, that will probably give information if Perez will do a great job in qualifying or the race. So let's see what the... Oh yeah, McLaren. Oh, how many was it? Just, let's see. I know Red Bull has some upgrades. Apparently maybe McLaren also, because they say here McLaren visit Red Bull plus up. No. The fuck? McLaren. Oh, they will also Horner pushing Perez and Lawson. Norris tops practice with F1 best car, question mark. Driver market, Ocon och Bottas. Yeah, news about Ocon också. Apparently had did a seat at Williams for some reason. Okay, science potential options. Prediction for Hungary. I believe still Max Verstappen, then Norris, and then Charles Leclerc. Hopefully Perez will at least be P4 if that's happened. Or he can gladly become overtake Charles Leclerc, because I mean Charles Leclerc is really unlucky nowadays, so why not continue? Will Perez get a podium and he doesn't?
John, we're at the Hungarian Grand Prix. It's been a stinker today, absolutely boiling hot. But it's showing up.
Oh yeah, that's also happened. It was super warm apparently. Almost as warm. Okay, that I don't know, but something was mentioned like how warm it was in Qatar, I think. That it was something similar warmness.
Lots of interesting stuff for us to talk about on track. I think, you know, the temperature being so warm obviously plays...
Wait, but on track? Everything you will probably talk about is off track. Let's see, I mean the upgrades, that's off track. Okay, so Perez strong performance, that's on track. Horner pushing Perez and also that off track. Norris top, that's on track. Driver market, Ocon and Bottas, that off track. Science manipulate off track. Predictor for Hungary, that probably on track.
In some teams' hands. We obviously see Max Verstappen and also both Red Bulls actually looking quite quick, but also the two McLarens as well.
And that's so beautiful. Go away the copium that Mercedes is back, and bring back that Perez should stay in Red Bull because they actually get...
They seem to be quick wherever we go these days. So should we kick off, start talking about McLaren?
Yeah, I think it's, I mean, it's been, as you said, really hot day. I think, 40 degrees in the pit lane, everyone's sweating, the paddock's kind of awful to trudge around, and you're trying to find people and everyone's walking in the shadows.
Yes.
So it's tough there. It's even tougher out on track. You see cars running wide and incidents. But we've got kind of the first hints of what's happening. I think it looks like McLaren v Red Bull, not McLaren v Max, which is quite interesting.
Yep.
Oh my god, so many people that are talking about it's Max versus McLaren. And I mean, Oscar Piastri is doing somewhat good job, but it's like the qualifying and the first few laps he's good. Then the race / taking care of the tires is just bad. So will he ever, I mean, maybe next season he can maybe try to win a race, but I don't feel like this season will be a race he can win.
We'll come on to that in a minute. With
Red
Perez.
Bull have bought an upgrade this weekend. Well, it's kind of a double upgrade, really. It's kind of new wing, floor, aero components, which both cars have.
Yeah.
And interestingly, some
And something, I don't know how true this is, but apparently the new upgrades is for this race and then Singapore, and then they will not use the upgrades anymore.
new side pods, cooling
Maybe, who knows?
station engine cover, which only Max has got, but it's this kind of abandons that, Mercedes, gullies, engine, flares, whatever people call them on the cars. And it seems all right. Max seems quite encouraged.
Yeah.
So bit of progress from him. Lando says the car's quick on one lap, but he's still not quite so comfortable with it. But it's normal
Man, I feel like now it's really low.
for Fridays. Drivers come out, feel a bit annoyed, and now they'll be flat out at work on their simulators, working all night. We'll rock up at FP3. Perhaps everything's changed.
I don't think anyone can feel comfortable today. It really was warm. But one driver who was doing better than usual was Sergio Perez. We normally see him struggle around all sorts of tracks, not just the street circuits, but the traditional racetracks like this one. But
Yeah, back to... Okay, 6 seconds. Hopefully it will not be a second one.
today he was, fourth in FP2? He looked quite strong.
11th FP1, but that one we should maybe not mention because that doesn't look good.
And he hasn't got the full upgrade that you mentioned that Max has. So, encouraging.
Oh, even more high. He doesn't have the upgrade and he's still up there.
Signs for him, perhaps.
I think so. Christian Horner, I think, said it was Checo's best Friday of the season. I mean, Sergio had a good Friday at Silverstone. Let's not forget that, and it all went wrong on that outlap in Silverstone qualifying. So nothing's done yet, but I think he seems more comfortable. And I think you get this phenomenon with Checo that when the car's better and there's an improvement from the car, he seems closer to Max. It's when the car's not so good, when Max has to take it to the edge.
I mean, like what you can say about the Charles Leclerc and Ferrari. When the car is bad, Charles Leclerc can 100% not drive the car. He overdrive it too much. And then when the car becomes good, he just out qualifying Carlos Sainz like Carlos Sainz was never that good in the beginning, maybe.
Car's a bit more nervous.
Yeah.
You've got to have more confidence. He tends to struggle.
And well, you saw the overdriving in practice too. Charles Leclerc in the wall. Like Perez was in Silverstone.
So, as day one, big tick from Checo. And I think, again, we talked a bit yesterday about him. Defiant, I'm staying here the rest of the season, I'm staying here next year. Christian Horner and Helmut Marko have said that's not necessarily the case. We want to see the results. We'll take stock after Spa, decide in the summer break what's going on. But I think as Helmut Marko told my colleague Ronald Vording tonight, says if Checo performs as he's done today, keeps doing like this, he'll be fine.
I think for me the interesting thing was as well, Christian Horner saying that he has had a heart-to-heart with Perez. He said, I had him around my house and we sat around the kitchen table and I said, what's going wrong? And he said, I'm just trying to...
Wait, really? The friendship become deeper. So is Perez on Christian Horner's side? So Perez, Christian Horner versus Jos Verstappen.
Too hard. Interestingly, Perez never admitted such. He was saying, I haven't spoken to the team, everything's fine. But that's obviously a sign that perhaps all's not well with him. But it does seem that he has these blips every now and again, but he tends to come back at various parts in the season. Maybe this is his time and he's delivering now when the pressure's really on. He knows that he's got to start delivering. Otherwise, as you mentioned, he could be out the door.
Yeah, I think the key, absolute key, is this Constructors' Championship. Because it's one thing, Checo being 3 tenths off Max, finishing 20 seconds behind. If Max is 30 seconds ahead of the opposition, Checo's second, all hunky-dory. Team gets the Constructors' points, all fine. If it continues as now, where Checo isn't getting the points, then it can be a very, very different matter. That's what they need to see. They want to see points, they want to see results, and his fate will be decided by results. It won't be decided by his mind frame. It won't be decided by...
There I wonder, all the talk about Perez, I mean, if he starts doing good, and Ricciardo is still not doing good, will it be start talking about Ricciardo will lose his seat to Liam Lawson?
By what he's thinking, it'll be decided by what he is doing.
I do wonder too whether any significance could be read into Liam Lawson doing the test at Silverstone last week as well. I mean, maybe that was the visual sign that Perez needed, you know, the proverbial kick up the backside to start delivering, maybe. But we will see.
I think there's a lot of, you know, they need to see that Checo can deliver when the pressure's properly on, and there's nothing that makes a driver more wake up to the challenges than the risk of getting replaced imminently. So,
so we would never see Lance Stroll doing this. That's somewhat sad.
As we keep saying, it's going to come down to results. He can say what he wants. He can say it's not my problem. He can say it's other people's faults. But at the end of the day, it's points. Red Bull wants to win the Constructors' Championship. His rate of scoring at the moment isn't good enough. It needs to get better.
Lando Norris topped FP2, another impressive performance. It wasn't totally error-free, there were a few moments, but he's still the quickest around this track at the moment. He seems to, you know, wherever they go, I mean, McLaren seem to bring the car and it's just quick out the box. That used to be Red Bull's forte. It seems to be McLaren. It seems to be good anywhere in all sorts of temperatures. So what is it that they've done which is so groundbreaking in this respect?
I think potentially they've got the best car. You know, there may be circumstances where others come into it. I mean, Mercedes, for example, I think we're seeing a definite trend, which confirmed by today. If it's cooler, we've had some cool races in recent races.
Yeah, and man, people, and that's thanks to the race in it was 100% Canada. But how Silverstone also ended. If it was not any rain and just warm weather, I believe Mercedes would have been really bad in these races then. So it's sad that people got some copium so they can talk about how good Mercedes is now.
You think of Canada,
yeah.
Think of Silverstone.
Yeah.
So cool and wet. How did Mercedes do? Should have won Canada, won at Silverstone.
Yeah.
Then we've had some hot races, Austria, Spain, and here on the Friday, Mercedes are a little bit adrift. So I think there's a definite trend. They need to understand why that car's not as competitive in the heat. But McLaren, quick in the cold, quick in the hot, quick in the high downforce, quick in the low downforce. They're there everywhere. And I think their challenge is stepping up and executing the weekends, because it's still close with Red Bull. They don't have a massive advantage. They're not cruising and going to win. They're going to have to go, as Zach said, toe to toe with Red Bull, and they've just got to not kind of let big opportunities slip through. Our teams make mistakes. Red Bull makes mistakes. Mercedes made mistakes. McLaren's made mistakes. It's part and parcel of the game. Some of them can get away with. Some of them influence the outcome of a race. And this is, I think, McLaren is stepping up. But you know, potentially Silverstone was a massive wake-up call for the team about the opportunity it has. Kind of the reflection on what happened at Silverstone, those kind of little things. Being too greedy with Oscar's pit stop. You know, did they need better communication with Lando that final stop?
Yeah, something need to be changed in McLaren. They need to believe in themselves more, or maybe less.
They'll come out from there, pick themselves up, execute, and you know, would do them a world of good to, you know, produce a performance this weekend, get pole, win the race. Can you imagine how they're going to feel?
It'd be amazing, wouldn't it, for them? One thing we've not spoke about yet is the driver market. Obviously, it looks like we're going to get a decision soon on Esteban Ocon's future. James Vowles today saying that, you know, he doesn't see Williams and him crossing paths, so it looks like that now could be a straight shootout between Bottas and Sainz. Ultimately, they would like Sainz, but it could be that Bottas ends up there. Ocon, we're thinking Haas, aren't we?
Yeah, I think Ocon will end up at Haas in the end.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see Esteban Ocon go into none other team than Haas. I mean, I feel like Audi and Williams would want to have more stable drivers. They will drive for the team, not for themselves. Haas look like a more team that you can drive for yourself. If you get points, doesn't matter how you get the points. I mean, Kevin Magnussen already shown that.
Contract not signed yet. But every indication are he's going there. You spoke to Vals. What do you reckon for?
Yeah,
his
it's
second
interesting.
seat?
I mean, his second seat, I think it's looking like a potentially Valtteri Bottas return. I think he offers them a steady Eddie in terms of progress. He's looking forward for 26. I think he just affords them, a little bit of time, maybe a stopgap until really getting everything in play. That everything's geared towards 26 for Vals. That's what he's thinking about. He was talking about this year, and obviously the progress that he made early doors was very good, but it's all stalled a little bit since then. And I think that is kind of diverting resource, energy, attention to getting through next year, but with a bigger picture view for 26. So for me, that makes a likely sense. Valtteri back to Williams, so be quite good fit.
Yeah, and I think it's another weekend where we race 13. Is this one?
Yeah.
Carlos Sainz still hasn't made a decision.
This is
So
true.
it goes on and on and on. And I think it may.
I mean, that would be so funny if Carlos Sainz waits so long so the other drivers get the seats and then he sits in the house instead of sitting in the future in a stake F1 team kick Sauber / Audi or Williams. Instead he's sitting in the house and they are worse than Williams and Audi.
May go on after summer break. I think his sights are set on Mercedes. I think he wants that second Mercedes seat. I think Kimi Antonelli's form hasn't quite convinced Mercedes it's a definite goer.
Yeah.
So I think Mercedes still have to make this decision about what's happening.
That I would say, if they wanna fight in the construction ship and maybe for more wins and stuff and podiums, and I believe the 2025 car for Mercedes will be good, then I would say Carlos Sainz. But if they believe the car will be bad, then you can just have Antonelli in the team.
I still think they've got half an eye, 3/4 of an eye on Max Verstappen. So I don't think Mercedes are going to rush to a decision.
Keep their options open.
That keeps Sainz's options open.
Exactly.
And that cork in the bottle stays.
Exactly. Yeah. Keeps us all guessing. What else? What other predictions have you got for tomorrow?
I think, from what we're looking at, I think it's Lando.
Qualifying between Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen, and then we have Perez behind them.
Lando and Oscar versus, Max and potentially Checo. I think that's the clear two-way fight at the front. Mercedes maybe a little bit off, and we'll see from Ferrari. Leclerc had that incident today. Carlos seems, quite confident. So a lot of analysis to do tonight, but I think again it's close. I don't think Mercedes is going to be as strong as they were recent races, but Lando and Max, we love it.
Excellent. I'm going to go and play some table tennis. Catch up tomorrow, and let's see if your predictions are right.
Hopefully they are. Fuck Mercedes. Their copium should someday end. There were Autosport and their stuff on the practice, but now we get into the best part. Only because Charles Leclerc did something in practice too. We need to hear what Matt think about seeing Charles Leclerc being in the wall again. So let's see.
What happened?
Yeah, what? Yeah, he did the Charles Leclerc.
On Friday for the Hungarian Grand Prix. Well, my predictions hype has gone fully down the toilet, but we'll get into that shortly
What
as
do you
we go
mean?
into free practice 1. And this is where I was
Charles
sat
Leclerc.
back, smug, feeling great actually. Ferrari 1-3, Carlos, quarter of a second clear of Max Verstappen.
Oh shit, were there 1-3? Did I hear? Trident? No Trident. Come on, not me. Thank you. Cobb Green Line, but I wanted to see Practice 1. Yeah, Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc. 1-3. And then 3-18. Slightly downgrade, but hey.
An FP1.
Can't win
It
them
looked rather good for the old Ferraris, didn't it?
It was hard to judge just how, the pecking order, unless Zhou Guanyu is indeed the GOAT and is going to be P5 tomorrow.
Hey, what is it with him and Hungary, though? This is where he went fastest in Q1 that time, when we had that weird
hard tyre
flying hard, medium, soft, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Mercedes looked, okay. The thing is, the gap between 4th and 10th.
Mercedes look like how they should look like. Worse than McLaren, Ferrari, and Red Bull.
Which was George Russell to Lewis Hamilton in free practice 1 with a 10th and a half. And so...
Let's see. Yeah, this is the practice 1. Hopefully...
So it's just going to be another one of those weekends, isn't it? It never fails to tee us up perfectly for a weekend of, oh, Max doesn't look like he's going to dominate. And we have got another race weekend on our hands. You do think it's going to end one day, but it doesn't seem to be doing that just yet.
It's also making it difficult to understand the pecking order after practice sessions, because everyone's using different tyres, but the performance is so close between all the cars that if people are doing different run plans, it's just all over the place.
Yeah, and the run plan we will hear about with Peter Wisseur and his god-like information he knows about Formula 1 after this.
Free practice 1, yeah, there wasn't much to write home about, apart from obviously mentioning Ollie Behrman, who was back in the Haas after Kevin Magnussen got announced on the run-up to this weekend that he will be leaving Haas.
Yeah, he will not be driving the car. He can still be in the team. Probably not, but he didn't say no to that.
I wonder who might be joining. Probably Ocon, but K-Mag announced as leaving Haas. That was no shock to us, was it? We saw it coming from a long way out, and I truly believe that K-Mag will probably not have a seat next year, and I think that might be curtains on his F1 career.
Next driver would probably be Bottas to not have a seat.
Personally,
no, I can't see K-Mag getting another seat. His form's dropped off, and the kind of only narrative surrounding him is will he not get banned.
It was never good. Only the car and Mick Schumacher was slightly worse than Kevin Magnussen. And soon you have Nico Hülkenberg in the other car. Now the quality is so much higher, so now you really need to be good every race
before his career ends, but I think that's not going to happen now. He's kind of calmed down to a point, hasn't he?
Well, yeah, we'll see about that one. Let's move on to free practice 2 then.
Yes. 8 laps.
Älskar sport.
Fuck me. Go away, Ad. 8 laps in. We have something interesting happen. I don't think anything else happened before that. So you really need to start talking about Charles Leclerc. Let's see. 3, 2, 1. And one more ad. 10 seconds more. And also, Charles Leclerc made the red flag, so a lot of stuff can be mentioned because of that. Come on, go away.
Let's move on to free practice 2 then.
Yes.
You thought I'd frozen, didn't you?
No, genuinely, my computer is absolutely on fire, and I was like,
thought I'd frozen. No, I was just in despair, mate. But yes, free practice 2. Yes, so Charles Leclerc ended up in the wall,
Absolutely.
still beat your goat Yuki Tsunoda, so I'm not sure what that means about him. Potentially, lose his seat.
Very comparable cars there.
Yeah, massively, mate. But yes, back to Charles Leclerc. Of
Makes
course, he
can
bottomed
buy
out
some more.
on the exit of turn number 4, I believe it is. Martin Brundle stood at that turn 4 viewing point and watching them fly around there, especially when there are slower cars like meandering on the left-hand side. The speed difference is absolutely ridiculous. But not just with Charles Leclerc. There was, of course, Zhou Guanyu as well, spun out at
Yeah, there we have it. Zhou Guanyu catch up with Perez really fast, try to maybe brake or do something, and he just spun around and managed to look like he will crash into Perez.
exactly the same corner. And there was another bit of bizarre commentary, actually, which was that they were Crofty started to blame Perez, who was going slowly, but Zhou had already lost the car by the time he arrived at the scene, basically.
Yeah, I'm surprised the commentators latched onto
Well,
that.
he saw the car, tried to do something, then he lost it.
Because I know Zhou...
It was only Crofty.
That is somewhat lying.
Anthony Davidson immediately was like, no.
Well, yeah, because Zhou was like, the Red Bull, what's it doing? And then you watch the replay and you can see that...
Yeah, the replay from his point of view. But if you look it from the other point of view...
Zhou's lost it coming
didn't
into the
look like
corner
that.
already. And then the Red Bull... Like, if Zhou had made the corner fine, there's literally no problem. He goes past Perez without a problem. The only reason he's anywhere near Perez is because he's spinning like a Beyblade into the side of him. So, like, it's never... Perez has done absolutely nothing wrong there.
P1 Patreon member Katie.
Maybe being too much in the way on the
So,
road.
Matt, how's that biggest good surprise
track.
prediction? Listen, Katie, I've had enough.
The good surprise prediction.
I've had enough of Tommy. I've had enough of everyone. As the minute it happens, my Twitter mentions, oh, how's Matt doing? At Matt P1 Gallagher. How are you feeling, mate? Yeah, you good? Charles Leclerc in the wall again.
It's fucking fun.
People going to Twitch to see if we're streaming FP2.
Yeah. Maybe maybe we should go live just for me to throw the middle finger up at everyone that joins. But how's that biggest good surprise prediction? Well, it's only practice.
Yeah. But it can be practice free in qualifying also.
Nothing's happened in qualifying yet. Miami, do you remember that? Charles Leclerc spun out, got stuck. We're all like, oh, he's washed. Then he popped in a great quality performance. So it's going to happen again in Hungary. Get rid of your crashes
Make it
now.
happen.
He knows what not to do coming into tomorrow and Sunday. Full delirium, back-loaded in. Carlos Sainz looks still quick in the
championship
Ferrari.
is on.
Even in the long runs, I think Mercedes, McLaren, Red Bull, they all look comparable. So it could be that qualifying is the big one around here, especially as it's Monaco without the walls, apart from when Charles Leclerc spins, and then there are walls.
Yeah, you can take some positives that Ferrari do look quick, but I think the problem here is that it's another kind of high-profile spin when you've got to say confidence is probably already quite damaged from what's happened.
Yeah, Paris
so
did them.
not to the great start, but at least it's practice.
Another question, V1033. Yes, it's only practice, but championship back on? The upgrades on Max's car doesn't seem to have gained Red Bull much lap time. Now, there were a few big upgrades going into this weekend, Ferrari being one, Aston Martin, Sauber.
Yeah, Sauber apparently had some upgrades. Will they finally get some points? Maybe, maybe
And
not.
Red Bull being the most striking, it has to be said, where they basically have just got rid of that bulbous sort of whatever we used to, what did we call it? I can't remember what we called it now. Like, it's almost like a headrest or something like that. Like it was
The travel pillow.
Travel pillow. That they've just completely eradicated that now, and gone for a different spec for more high downforce tracks, which on paper sounds incredibly scary. But judging by FP1 and FP2, we're not too scared of it just yet. But let's see what happens in qualifying.
Well, you should be worrying the race. Last season, I remember the season before that, the qualifying was always bad for Red Bull, and then they won in the races.
Right now, Red Bull, it's hard to say. We'll say Friday. but at least Max isn't half a second clear.
It's interesting that when they went completely the other way and their whole idea was, well, we can't develop the 2023 car to be any better and everyone will just copy our 2023 car, so we get something radically different. And they've kind of, has to be said, they've kind of stalled with that now, and the other cars are definitely catching and they're finding themselves more in the pack. I don't know, I saw something quite savage from Oscar Piastri on TikTok actually, where he was talking about who was going to be quick, and he was like, well, yeah, the Mercedes will be quick and the Red Bull are always quick. Well, Max is quick. And it was like, oh, ouch. But it's, yeah, but it's true.
Yeah.
Then you should say George Russell will be fast and Max Verstappen, because Lewis Hamilton in qualifying apparently isn't that fast.
That being said, Perez was a couple of tenths off Max, which that's where we want. That's where we want him. That's where everyone wants him.
The problem with Perez is that the field is so close now. And, we just did a Patreon pod the other day and about 2021 Hungary, and Perez was P4 on the grid, Max was P3, but Max was 6 tenths ahead of him. 6 tenths now is he's not getting out of Q1, so this is the problem Perez finds himself in.
Certainly does. So yeah, championship back on. We'll see. We've been saying that for the last few weekends. And every
Perez. I mean, they could be.
Single time Max has extended his championship lead, no matter what kind of crazy race is thrown at him. Next question: O2 Rachel Rebecca, 7-car fight for pole? Potentially.
Yeah, Oscar Piastri can actually fight for the pole, but not the win, sadly. Carlos Sainz, I mean, he could, but probably not. I believe more on Lewis Hamilton and George Russell then. George Russell, Lewis Hamilton, Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen for pole. Then can maybe Carlos Sainz and Oscar Piastri be second best.
I think that perhaps Mercedes are lacking a little bit of that one-lap pace. They looked good in the long run with George Russell, but right now they've not really shown too much on that side. They've not got within sort of 4 tenths of the fastest time in either FP1 or FP2, and Mercedes usually show their hand a little bit if they tend to be quick in practice. But I think it's between.
Well, we'll see. One thing we should do is guard work. Then we know how good Mercedes really are in the long runs.
It could well be Lando, Max, and Charles. Yeah, that's the top 3. But Carlos is also looking great. Carlos is looking has put great lap times for both sessions today. So maybe both Ferraris, and we'll see about Oscar Piastri, because of course he didn't have the greatest of FP2 sessions, down in 13th.
No, he had some bad luck being stuck in the garage, but this is the thing with McLaren. They're looking very quick again. They've been quick on so many different circuits. Silverstone is incredible for them, but you come to Hungary, which is completely different characteristics, and they were very quick last year as well. They, just exactly what we said after the British Grand Prix, they need to start winning races now. They need to start capitalising on this amazing car.
Exactly. Frank couldn't.
Or at least Ferrari and Mercedes, 100% Mercedes can't win any race. Then it will be just depressing that they are winning more in IndyCar than in Formula 1.
Agree more as well in the background. My guy cannot wait for tomorrow in qualifying. We won't be live, unfortunately, for qualifying on Twitch, but we will be live on Sunday for the race, and we'll have all of our usual podcasts. As always, you might even enjoy a little in-person podcast, myself and Tommy, tomorrow, because we'll be seeing each other at the Formula E. So we'll see you very soon. Lots of love, and
that sounds
adios.
Really fun.
Wait, Tommy, what's your final thoughts? I'm so hot, I forgot to ask you final thoughts.
That would be sad if I actually would like... If I like watching Formula E more than IndyCar.
Honestly melting right now.
Final thoughts are I'm warm.
Thank you so much for that insight. Goodbye.
Okay. That was that. But now to actually real information. Peter Windsor. The person that have been in Formula 1 like forever. 2024 F1 Hungarian Grand Prix Friday by Peter Windsor. Sponsored with Jetcraft and OM exclusive. I don't know what the fuck that is. But let's see. Peter Windsor, give us your take.
The first half of the 2024 Formula 1 season draws to a close with a double header, the first part of which is the Hungarian Grand Prix at the wonderful Hungaroring, great spectator facility. Very different from the other half of the double header, which of course is the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa, from the sublime to the, no, not the ridiculous, from the sublime to the ultra sublime, you could say. Softest of the Pirelli tyres on display. And so straight away, let's have a look at what they did today on the...
Let's see. What do we have? Oh, Perez. Oh, so let's see. Soft runs FP. No, that scared me. I thought it was a Trident, but it was just me not having any air bubbles. Oh, Ricardo. Was Ricardo really up? Ricardo. Yeah. Maybe points for Ricardo also.
These soft tyres, not representative in terms of all the teams, some of them running...
Yeah, Charles Leclerc didn't do anything, so he will probably be up here. Maybe he would got the under 18
upgrades, particularly Red Bull, lots of Flovis on the Red Bull RB20s and some decent step forwards there as well, it would appear. Mercedes also not putting in a massive effort on the soft tyre, and then McLaren apparently spending a lot of time on fuel runs as well. But then when it came down to the crunch of putting in a quick lap on a soft tyre, before anybody had even taken a breath, it was Lando Norris out there, unbelievably quick in the McLaren, looking right at home around the Hungaroring, very rhythmic in his driving again. You can see there 17-7.
So pole position for Norris, and then Max Verstappen will win. Stripey orange and white, I believe I already have that one also.
Max Verstappen had 2 goes. He messed up sector 1 on his fresh set of soft tyres and then went out on the same set to have another go, did an 18.0. The tyres had gone off before he had finished the lap, so we shouldn't read too much into that again. But just as a comparison, let's have a look at how Lando and Max stacked up through that sector 1. This is the second attempt by Max.
Don't say they will be close, so they will be able to crash into each other.
And this time no errors. Interesting to see how the different approaches to turn 1 made such a big difference to that sector alone. Lando and Max both going through the trap, approximately through the trap. This is before the trap actually. This is the beginning of.
So let's see. I mean, Norris doing good there. No, Verstappen do good. And then. Okay, so Max Verstappen is doing. Here we have Norris doing better, but there we have Max Verstappen doing better than Norris. Oh, here we have it. 2071 and 2063. But they were really equally.
The sector, the traps just before the braking area into turn 1. So 303, 302, and they're very similar in terms of trap speed as well. In 8th gear, 100% throttle, and the other side of the forward slash there is the braking percentage. And then as they go into the second microsector, an interesting...
So we can say 100% a fight between Norris and Max Verstappen.
Comparison, the real difference between the two drivers in terms of their style. Not necessarily saying one is better at this point, but 242 Lando Norris hard on the brakes at that point, 100% braking, no throttle at all. And at the same point, exactly the same point of the track, Max Verstappen 297, still in 8th gear, they're both still in 8th gear, 10% throttle still against 100% braking, and this for me is Max just extending the straight a little bit compared with Lando. And because he's extending the straight, he's then peeling into a slightly earlier entry point to the corner, and then of course to a slower mid-corner rotation speed compared with Lando. That's the downside. And so looking at this data, I'm not sure that extending the straight into turn one, as Max does, gives him any sort of real advantage, because the corner is so wide, there's so much grip there, relative grip, because Lando can very easily get away with breaking in a straight line as late as he can, turning in relatively late, getting a great rotation point, higher minimum speed, and a phenomenal exit as a result. You can see there 204, 202. This is about the exit of the corner. Lando's in 5th gear already. Max is in 4th gear. They're both 100% throttle. And as they come down towards turn 2...
Guess that is the information on what gear they are in.
Max has the slight advantage, so that's probably where he's got his advantage with that
So
very
much
slow
information.
mid-corner rotation he has to have at turn 1 because of that higher entry speed. It's helped him a little bit on that run, but because of that, he's compromised a little bit going into turn 2. Lando 225 on the exit of 2. Max 222, 271, 263. So Lando has the edge on acceleration there, and just for the end of sector 1 they're back to par, 281. And interestingly enough, I was talking in the live stream about the next corner, which is turn 4, very, very fast kink, where Charles Leclerc had a big spin and nudged the guardrail. So did Guanyu Zhou, but for different reasons. And interesting to see they're all braking there, even on soft tyres. So yeah, that has to be taken into account tomorrow as well. Anyway, Lando 17.7, Max 18.0, probably a little bit closer had he been able to complete that second run if he'd run a second set of tyres, but he didn't, and the tyres went off. Carlos Sainz 18.1, really good job by Carlos Sainz today. I thought in the Ferrari he looked very good. He was quickest in the morning session. Didn't mean that much. Again, just got a good run at the right time on soft tyres, but he was there or thereabouts. And look where Charles Leclerc, his teammate, is 19.2, and that's because Charles Leclerc, the driver that Ferrari are keeping, I mean, I'm a Charles fan, I got to say, but this is getting a bit ridiculous. The number of incidents that he has and how good Carlos Sainz is.
I mean, if Marcus Ericsson is right about how Charles Leclerc is driving, that he's overdriving, overdriving the car, even if the car is bad and you can't drive faster, and he still try to do it. And if that's true, he will keep crashing until the car becomes good again.
Looking relative to Charles at the moment. Charles went off just before the soft tyre runs, going through the left-hand kink, turn 4 that I was just talking about.
No, but that's what Perez is doing also. The car, he can't handle the car. He tried to drive faster than what he actually can with the car. And then he crash out.
He'd just gone purple into microsectors of sector 1. He was really quick. And I think it needs to be borne in mind at this point that Carlos Sainz was a tenth, 2 tenths quicker, and it looks like Charles was just going out, I'm going to be the faster of the 2 Ferrari drivers, and he just lost it. He plain lost it going through that left-hander too quick, and lost the rear, and then spun across to the outside of the track and hit the guardrail left rear. Didn't damage the car much, but it brought the session to a halt with a red flag, and after that everybody then bolted on the soft tyre. So Charles Leclerc obviously didn't get a soft tyre run in, but at Carlos Sainz upholding the workday for Ferrari, again 18.1, really good job, and he did a good job on full fuel as well. So Ferrari, well, heavy fuel, should we put it that way. So Ferrari, I think, owe a lot to Carlos Sainz, the driver, of course, that they're rejecting and sacking because he's presumably not quick enough or good enough. I mean, it just doesn't make...
I mean, why would you keep Carlos Sainz if you can sign Lewis Hamilton? I don't understand why Peter Reserve believes so much that Carlos Sainz should stay in Ferrari. Don't you believe that Lewis Hamilton should maybe leave Mercedes?
Any sense at all? With every passing race, with every passing...
Maybe not how he's looking now. Now Lewis Hamilton would maybe have stayed. But who knows? Maybe Ferrari will be better next season.
Month. That decision looks increasingly illogical. Sergio Perez, I did predict in the live stream that this would be a pretty good circuit for Sergio Perez. I said rather cynically, not many difficult corners here, but it is Sergio's sort of circuit. It's a high downforce circuit. There's lots of grip from those soft Pirellis. And he looked really good. And I think that should be borne in mind in terms of how quick he is in that car. When I said that the upgrades on the Red Bull look to be working, part of that is going to be grip and balance that Sergio Perez is now feeling. But having said that, as I say, around Hungarian, he was never going to be slow. And if we look in a second at the full fuel runs or the heavy fuel runs, you'll see how good he was with fuel in the car as well. George Russell and Lewis Hamilton.
Now we have the more. Oh no, it's still fucking that time.
We're saying afterwards Mercedes didn't put too much effort into the soft tyre runs. It looked to me as if that's a little bit of a trite comment. They didn't look as good as a McLaren around Hungaroring, in my opinion. They didn't look as nimble, they didn't look as agile, they didn't look as well balanced. But both drivers did a good job, and they were pretty good on full tanks as well. And look at Kevin Magnussen there, 18.3 in the Haas Ferrari. He's just also heard that he's going to be sacked at the end of the year. Amazing, isn't it, how they react when they get that bit of news. 18.3, quicker than Lewis Hamilton on soft tyres.
Maybe Ferrari should have signed Kevin Magnussen then.
Daniel Ricciardo showing up Yuki Tsunoda. There was a weird incident when they were trying to get him to go a bit quicker. They said, come on, charge off, let's go. And he said something like, don't rush me. Okay, we won't rush you, Yuki, but 19.6, not exactly what we were expecting. Williams, Aston Martin and Sauber. It's quite nice to be able to say that, but we often say that on a Friday, don't we? In the midfield there. That's good news for Sauber, bad news for Aston Martin. They should be higher than that. Alex Albon there or thereabouts. I think Logan Sargent
that would be depressing if Stake F1 team kicks Sauber, score points, and Aston Martin doesn't. I mean, how far have Aston Martin fallen then? 2 more fishes for the collection. Let's see, this should be... Okay, was that a good screenshot? Screenshot. Yeah, good enough. Let's see, this should be Betty. No, it's the flopper, it's the Lewis Hamilton fish. The flopping Lewis Hamilton.
Doing a good job, 18.6. Oscar Piastri looked very quick and very wild, looked very Liam Lawson-ish actually when he was out there in the McLaren today. I'm sure he'll be quick, but he was touching quite a lot of bits of dirt on the outside, on the wrong side of curbs, and just pushing quite hard. But he did look good, the McLaren looked good, and it looked drivable, and it didn't end in tears anyway, which does say a lot about the balance of the car. And we see Nico Hülkenberg relatively near the back there in the other Haas Ferrari.
Yeah, can we... Yeah, soon, okay.
No real surprise, his car was taken over by Oliver Behrman in FP1. Oliver not going very well in F2 qualifying on this occasion, so I think this business of jumping from F1 to F2 and back to F1 probably quite difficult. Shouldn't be, but I guess it is. So that was that. Let's have a look now at what they did on the fuel runs.
Yeah, finally. Okay, Lewis Hamilton, 25 and high 24. Low 25, high 24. And he were 23, low 23, high 23 and low 24, can we say? Oh, and Max Verstappen only 24. Sainz almost the same. Oh, Perez. Maybe there's Norris and Perez that will fight in the race. And Russ and... Yeah, doing really weird stuff.
Look at that. He was on the hard tyre, got to say. Everybody else slightly wary with the hot temperatures about the medium, but Lando on the hard tyre, which would seem to be the logical thing to be doing. But Lando 2 laps in the 23s, 23.7, 23.9, another 24.0, 24.0, incredibly consistent. Very impressive. About the best in comparison, as I say, Sergio Perez, look at that, 23.3 on the medium, 23.8. 23.8 on his last lap on the medium as well. So that's why I say Sergio Perez looking good around here. He's found a rhythm, he's found his confidence as predicted. And Max Verstappen maybe running a dash more fuel, maybe not, maybe running a different setup, maybe trying something a bit different, we don't know. But in the low 24s very consistently. Speaking of consistency, have a look at Lewis Hamilton's run on the medium tyre there. 25.0, 24.7, and then 24.6, 24.6, 24.6, 24.6, 24.7. Wow, brilliant stuff. The only thing is it's 24.6s and 24.7s and not 24.1s and 24.2s. They are saying at Mercedes the car looks really good on heavy fuel, and on the basis of that you wouldn't necessarily agree with them. Although George Russell 24.0, 24.0, impressive. And then 24.4, 24.7, 26.25. Looks like the tyres have gone off quite comprehensively, having done those 24s. Carlos Sainz level, let's see what Ferrari are doing. The lone Ferrari driver. 23.9, there you go, very good. A lap in the 23s. 24.4, 24.5, 24.6, 24.9, 24.6, 25.1. Yeah, I mean, right there, you'd have to say with Mercedes right now. So Ferrari having made some improvements as well, looking a little bit, well, having made improvements back at a circuit where it's a high downforce circuit, some of their disadvantages have been nullified as a result, and they can focus on what they do quite well, albeit on fast corners. As Charles Leclerc showed, the balance of the car is still not very good at all, but around slow corners and traction, if they get the car into the corner, it's going to go very well. So Carlos Sainz, as I say, very good in both sessions and good on fuel runs. Very impressive run altogether. Impressive day from Carlos Sainz, the driver they want to get rid of. Let's see what happens then. A big thanks to Jetcraft, to OAM Exclusive, and to Track Ninja, and to you for watching. See you tomorrow.
Fucking Track Ninja. Yeah, that's sponsor. Oh, let's see. No, Peter Visser, why? 10:37. 37, so free. 23. 25 seconds of flash free. With probably music. Okay, and then we get ad, go away. Okay, so that, yeah, quite. So that was Peter Windsor. I mean, it will be, I mean, IndyCar also. Sometime after the Formula 1. I mean, after the qualifying in Formula 1, the qualifying for IndyCar will happen, and then we have the race in Canadian, like Canada, what do we say, Toronto, I believe. Can be the only race where IndyCar isn't in America. What an international sport IndyCar is. One race in another country. So let's see, do we have anything? Yeah, we have some news about IndyCar that I can maybe well, let's see, is there anything interesting to maybe the Formula 1 have anything interesting to maybe be how she is bringing a fight to Red Bull? No, I don't fucking care about that. Machines we don't care about. Yeah, look like IndyCar can be the most interesting thing to maybe look at. See, what should Yeah, let's see. Porsche. I mean, he's
So
from Formula 2 at least. So almost Formula 1. And so, yeah. And McLaren is in Formula... They are in Formula 1. But, I mean, they are in the car. And they have some interesting with the drivers.
So the McLaren IndyCar soap opera continues.
Yes.
Théo Pourchaire has walked back the comments that he made to Auto Hebdo yesterday. Before we read the statement, I think it's very important to point out that there are some headline readers out there, and there are folks who maybe aren't paying attention or understand exactly it is that I do here.
I know nothing, so...
When a publication like Auto Hebdo puts out a story like that, you have to take it seriously. Auto Hebdo is on shelves across bookstores and magazine stores in France. They're essentially the equivalent to Racer Magazine in the United States, although I would say they're bigger. They're a weekly publication, and you can go to the train station and buy it, right? So when they come out with an article that has these kinds of claims in them said by a former driver of McLaren, that is 100% newsworthy and worthy of commentary.
See nothing, so the news didn't get far down.
Yes, I break news on this channel. This was
Nice.
not the news that I broke. I gave it full credit to Auto Hebdo for breaking that story. And the unfortunate reality is that Auto Hebdo is going to be the one who is going to have to kind of face the backlash for this. Not that I think that they were wrong or they even, there's a claim that they took Teo's comments out of context, and we'll have to wait and see, right? I guess the advantage that I have is that when drivers or team owners
Trident.
or whoever, goes on the record with me and I publish their statements, it's in video form, right? There's a microphone in the front of their face. There's a very
True.
clear distinction about, what is being said on and off the record. And if there is a question of whether or not something is taken out of context, the context is provided by the video evidence. So really, this is something that I think is interesting because
Oh, Trident!
as the world changes and
Nice.
as people get more and more skeptical and as the media landscape changes, I think it's just going to become more and more important for interview quotes and interviews to be done, even if they are written down to be filmed, because it creates messy situations like this. This isn't even the first incident of something like this happening in the IndyCar season this year, and I will suspect it's probably not going to be the last. So what I would say to any media members out there, make sure you film your interviews. Don't just voice record them, although that's important. Film them.
Yeah, film.
Because
Audio
otherwise
for
you can
this.
have people make claims, and it's very difficult. It's a he said versus she said argument at that point.
Yeah, but fuck did it say? Can't we get that information, please?
And people will believe who they believe. But the important
Yeah, they're
aspect
different.
of this is that Théo Pourchaire put out this statement on his Q&A with Auto Hebdo, and it reads like this. I've read the article
well-
published on Auto Hebdo this week, and I'm disappointed how grossly inaccurate my words and comments portrayed my interview. While I was surprised McLaren's decision to take me out of the car ahead of Laguna Seca, we ended on amicable terms. Sure, it's disappointing not to be racing with the team, but they've held up and respected all the areas of their contract, and Zach, Gavin, and Tony, along with the rest of the team, have been
No shit.
fully supportive of me and my wish to get back into IndyCar and other racing. There is no question
Oh yeah, fuck me, he will read
on
everything.
Aero McLaren's stability and its partnerships and their funding. So for Auto Hebdo to include that in my interview, it's absolutely false. I'm appreciative of the time I had with the team. There are no hard feelings, and I hope this helps correct the perception there's been around the team and myself. And I said to you guys, anytime this rumor has come up about the funding at McLaren, right? McLaren has denied it to anybody who will listen. Okay? The newsworthiness of Teo's statement in that article is that he was the first person who has been affiliated with McLaren in any way to lend any credibility to those rumors. And so now it's very, very interesting to me and gives me some more questions than I
Okay, so people thought he was a paid driver?
think answers as to why he has now walked back that statement. Is it because, as McLaren continues to tell other members of the media that the rumors are completely untrue about Arrow leaving or other partners coming in to fill that gap? Nolan Siegel is on the record as to saying that he did not pay McLaren any money, no money exchanged hands from his family or elsewhere for him to get the ride. He's there on talent. Again, he's on the record saying these things. Teo Pourchaire apparently went on the record and said these things. Now, why or where did he hear them, or why did Auto Hebdo include that in their article? That remains to be seen. But the statement now is from Teo Pourchaire that is incorrect, and McLaren's stability and its partnerships and their funding is, in his words, there's no question. I think a lot of people...
I mean, at least after now, they have won 2 races in the IndyCar, so... If it was bad before the season started, it should be better now.
On Twitter, now we call it X, but I call it Twitter. We're really lighting Tony Kanaan up yesterday about this article, even before I made my video. And, you know, we have said a lot of times that Tony Kanaan chose Nolan Siegel for that ride, right? It was Tony's decision. It was Tony's idea. Tony saw something in Nolan. They took an opportunity and got their guy. It is also interesting to see that they ended in amicable terms, and the contract was held up. So it's quite interesting that as well, because obviously that's always a question with McLaren these days about, you know, contracts ever since the Alex Palou thing, and even if we remember back to the Formula One situation a couple of years ago. So it's all very interesting. And
well, Ricciardo was bad enough, so they have to remove him. So that would say was a weird thing.
In fact, speaking of Tony Kanaan, Tony made a statement.
Has this gone?
Oh shit! Oh shit! It's a scam ad.
Too far? Skunk water sprayed on worshippers near Al-Aqsa Mosque. This gut-wrenching story is taking the world by storm. In the heart of Jerusalem, there has been a skunk water truck, which has been spraying water towards Palestinians and bystanders. This produces an awful smell which has been drifting in the air. Even a small spray of the water leaves a stench on the skin.
Why the fuck do you make this bad ad then?
For days. To make matters worse, the Palestinians have also been attacked with tear gas grenades to deter
sounds like a robot voice.
Them from entering the holy site. When asked why, no valid reason has been provided for this confrontation from the officials in charge.
I really hate what I'm doing now, but we need to record this for the world.
Fucking this guy.
Palestinian-Canadian citizen journalist Mansour Schumann has brought stories like this into the spotlight.
Yeah, true, yeah.
After realizing the reality of what is truly happening in Gaza,
only time I see him is in the scam ads.
Mansour decided to take matters into his own hands. A decision was made by himself and his wife that they wanted to live back closer to home. Home being Palestine. Fast forward to October 7th, his family woke up to the sound of thousands of rockets, and they didn't know what was going on. On November 7th, the Canadian government came back saying they got approval for his family to all leave Gaza. He had a very open discussion and decided that his wife and children would leave and he would stay behind. Even if it was as little as removing rubble and debris to help people, he had to do something. Mansour also believed that it was very important to continue aiding people when it came to reporting on different international TV stations, which later extended to the charity work that he got involved in, realizing the impact his help could have. He partnered with top organizations like Get More Donations to maximize the impact and
Nice. I'm like, come on, make so I can actually believe this.
provide crucial aid to Palestinians in urgent need. His message and efforts spread worldwide about the progress he has made, and donors generously lined up to contribute and help. According to the IPC, in connection with the UN's
Why don't we see the footage of this while you're walking with the stuff?
Food and Agriculture Organization, it is estimated there will be famine in Gaza sometime this July. This has set off alarm bells around the
Why not use the footage and walking?
world of an impending humanitarian disaster. If you still see this message, you can still contribute before this situation is
Yeah, why aren't you here?
exacerbated.
And how?
Click the link in this video to give.
Yeah, give money for this fucking scam ads.
Assalamu alaikum, live here from Gaza. Gaza is not alone.
One more, fuck off.
Alhamdulillah, with donations from individuals and charities all over the world, this
Fuck you standing with.
is the beginning of over 100 sheep that we are gonna be, inshallah, sacrificing for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Why?
And we are going to be using to feed the displaced population here in Khan Yunis in the vicinity of Nasser Hospital. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you. Inshallah, we are
Why aren't you here and give the food to really show that this is not fucking fake?
remaining steadfast. With your support, we are winning. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
مطر يغيث من العنا كالفرج من رب السماء يحيي الحياة إذا نزل لا يمل من العطاء مطر يغيث من العنا.
Yeah, also same organization tried to do some, I don't know. For me, it was really weird ad about Pakistan, and apparently a big water crisis that was so terrible that it's the fuck was it? 80% or something problem. Not true. So why the fuck would anything else be true then? Yeah, fuck me. 2 ads from the same stuff. Oh my god.
Statement as well that he posted on Twitter. And he said, Teddy, of course, if you don't know, Teddy Pork Chops is the name that the team gave Théo Pourchaire. He said, I would repeat out loud what we spoke on the phone today, but we will keep that between us and put the plan in action soon. So you know, there's a lot more questions to be answered there, exactly what that means. If I had to speculate, perhaps there's a technical alliance coming with Arrow McLaren and another team, and maybe Théo Pourchaire would be placed there at that team.
Oh, that would be nice.
Of course, their alliance, which was a commercial marketing one with Juncos Hollinger, ended this year, so maybe there's something, there's a space that Arrow McLaren will want to fill elsewhere on the grid, or help fill elsewhere on the grid. Maybe Théo Pourchaire is in that thought for them. And
hopefully.
So it's interesting that this also confirms that a conversation took place at least between Tony Kanaan and Théo Pourchaire today, although he mentioned Zach and Gavin Ward, who is the team principal at Arrow McLaren. One has to think that words were exchanged between Théo and all 3 members of the leadership at Arrow McLaren prior to the statement being put out. So, yeah, I mean, it's quite interesting. I mean, when this article came out, I wouldn't even say it's surprising that Théo walked back his comments, right? I think that the comments surprised me that he went as deep as he did in a variety of ways, and I'm also not surprised that he had to put out a statement walking them back.
Yeah, maybe needed.
It's an interesting situation. I'm sure it will continue to develop, and I guess I'm especially interested to find out what Tony Kanaan means about this plan he has for Théo Pourchaire in the future. But I'm sure you've already let me know what you think about this whole situation down in the comment section below.
White snooper.
Got coverage this weekend of the NASCAR Cup Series return to the Brickyard 400.
Okay.
I'll also be on IndyCar Radio for practice at 3 p.m. Eastern.
I slightly care about the IndyCar, fucking NASCAR now.
There. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.
Yeah, and the next video can actually be really soon. Let's see. Well, even closer. The next Indy double driver. No. Let's see. Is there anything interesting? Like, we can take the crash that happened in the car. It's like nothing happened in the whole race, and then the last lap, something big happened.
So
the rest of the race was so boring. And I drove it twice. At least it wasn't like Ganassi 100% easy win like it was last season. But it was really boring.
So one of the most bizarre weekends that I've experienced at a racetrack continues, and we just need to start with what took place on the last lap, and I'm not talking about the winner of this race. You know, typically I watch any Iowa race on the back straightaway here. It's my spot to watch the race. It's where I feel like I get my best perspective on what's going on in this racing. And with about 2 laps to go, I noticed that Alexander Rossi was beginning to slow. Now, it was reported by Kyle Kirkwood in his interview with NBC that he believed that Rossi was running out of fuel. We won't know that until officially until the team confirms that or denies that. But the fact of the matter is that Alexander Rossi was slowing on the last 2 laps of the race. And as Will Power was taking the checkered flag, the back half of the field was coming around. Well, Alexander Rossi was still slow, and Stingray Robb was the first car on the scene.
Yeah, there we have it. Just crashed into him. He flipped around, I believe. And then some behind just lose control and crashes with other drivers.
In one of the most dramatic accidents I've ever witnessed.
Maybe trying to avoid this crash.
Personally, Stingray Robb went over the back of Alexander Rossi, got way high into the air, landed on top of the race car, did a barrel roll, and then slid down the racetrack. Several other cars becoming involved, including Ed Carpenter, Alexander Rossi, of course, and Kyle Kirkwood. A very dramatic and scary accident. Stingray Robb was extracted from the race car, put on a backboard, and transported, according to IndyCar, to a local hospital as a precaution for further evaluation. But the good news is on Stingray Robb, and we're very, very happy to report this also from IndyCar, is that Stingray Robb is awake, alert, and in good condition following that absolutely dramatic crash. And it was an airplane crash. I mean, there's no other way to describe it. A frightening accident here. Certainly the biggest one we've seen at Iowa Speedway ever, and it's not even close. So I'm very, very thankful that Stingray's in good health and good spirits, and we're looking forward to seeing you back at the racetrack very soon, Stingray. Get well soon, buddy. On that note, I feel like I said that last night, but on that note, yeah, the Indy cars did get bumped to CNBC once again. Again, the continuing coverage of the assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump continues to take precedent. Although this race started on NBC, did get bumped for the presidential remarks.
Maybe 100% securing Donald Trump's victory in USA.
From President Joe Biden, and you know, at the end of the day, the racing product, I don't think was worthy of network television.
True. Oh my God, the first race, as soon as I heard the commentator mentioned this will be almost, I don't know if they say boring race or nothing will happen race. I just turn around and just started to sleep. And then I woke up, so it was 10 laps left. I started to sleep again. Then it was 2 laps left. I started to sleep again. And then the finish line, or someone won, and I think I started to sleep again or something. I don't know. Like, that was my race after it started. So I saw maybe the 50 first laps, and then I slept mostly the rest.
And you know, it all pales in comparison when you talk about a guy going to the hospital. I mean, really, that is worst case scenario, right? Everything else in the world, you know, comes second to the health and safety of those that we care about, right? And so, you know, when a driver gets hurt, you know, the minutia of talking about whether or not the race was good or not, you know, is definitely secondary. But I suppose I start with that big preamble to say this was just a disastrous race.
True.
Just a
Man, it's like, for me, it's like how IndyCar is always. Nothing happens and everyone is just driving after each other.
Disastrous race. Really, really, really poor. I mean, Alex Palou, who is, you know, one of the most positive people about IndyCar racing. Tony DeZino said that, and I completely agree with him. Said in the press conference that this was not only, I mean, he said boring 5 or 6 times. IndyCar's Dave First, who is the moderator of the press conference, you know, asked, you know, well, it's boring to go 180 miles an hour, and Palou said yes, which is really, really sad. Palou described this race not only as boring, but he described the track and the compatibility with the current Indy cars as like putting a MotoGP bike on dirt. He said, you know, MotoGP bikes are really cool and dirt racing is really cool, but you don't want to mix the two. And you know, it's such a shame because Will Power said in his post-race interview, and I've got.
Oh my god, man! The drivers really show how not fun that race was.
A question that I asked Will Power that you'll see later on, but Will said this was one of the best ovals for IndyCar racing, and now it's one of the worst, and just frustrates me, man. It just like,
is this true?
I feel like you know, Don Corleone. You know, look how they massacred my boy. I mean. When IndyCar short oval racing is good, it is the best. It is some of the best racing that you could possibly get anywhere in the world. This is something that sets IndyCar racing apart.
That I will actually agree with. The oval racing is much better than fucking city races, because they really can't drive past anyone if they drive in the city, but the ovals, they somewhat can.
Apart from other open wheel formula series, you race on ovals, you race at high speeds, you race in traffic. But when you can't pass, and then if you get up to lap traffic and you refuse to pass them because it's too much risk, and it's a 2-stop race because the tires aren't degrading, and it's amazing because IndyCar brought even a softer compound of tire than they had previously been planning on bringing here, and it still didn't help the racing. It's just so disappointing. It's so disappointing. It just upsets me. And I asked Will Power specifically about that type of racing because I'm sure you noticed it if you watched this race, that leaders would get up behind lap cars, and then it was a chess match of making sure to go just fast enough to keep the driver behind you, but also not go too fast that you have to actually pass the lap cars. I asked Will Power about that style of racing, and here's his answer.
Yeah, Will, you mentioned the change in the racing style from last year. This race kind of reminded me a little bit of some of the recent races at Gateway, where when you get behind lap traffic, you really don't try to overtake it. Could you kind of describe what it's like to kind of manage the traffic in that way, where you're trying to not pass the car ahead of you and also keep the car behind you?
Yeah, that was a tough balance. Like, I was basically backing the corner up and just getting on the throttle really early. So every time I come out of the corner, it was a big run. So he'd close up there, which he couldn't really do anything. It's usually when someone gets a big run on you. So I just try to keep backing up, keeping a gap enough of the car. It's just with 5 to go or something, it was like a bunch of cars battling and started to really back up. I was like, this is going to be interesting. But I just, I did my best. I was like keeping an eye on him and just trying to keep that gap to get big exits. I mean, it is a pity you can't, like, we're clearly faster than that group in front of us. You just can't do anything. You could take a bit of a risk because 2 cars got by Palou and myself, lappers. So you can do it. It's just, but if we ran hard, you couldn't. We were like sitting back.
I believe Marcus Ericsson did that because he was 2 laps behind, so he had nothing to lose.
Like saving fuel, they weren't. They were trying to get a lap back. You simply need a second lane. That's if there's a coating we can use or something, but a second lane would make this race amazing, as it has been in years past, or just time. I don't know if you can speed up the degradation process of a track, but I heard they're going to resurface the whole thing in a couple of years. Which, does that make it better for us? Maybe you can start high, and I don't know.
Will described as well that he got what he called a Scott Dixon yellow earlier on in that press conference, and it's kind of funny because Will Power really wasn't a contender in this race, but as we know, with track position being the way that it was, if your pit stops were good and you got the lucky breaks like Power did with the yellow, with the Juncos car spun out on the bottom, the faster cars of Alex Palou and Scott McLaughlin really didn't have anything for Will Power. And so Will gets his 2nd win of the year, and certainly very, very good for him as a championship contender. Nothing against Will Power. Again, he could have absolutely screwed this race up, and Alex Palou tried his best to get around and wasn't able to do so.
Nope.
But I can't help
that I can mention. Alex Palou could maybe overtook Will Power. I don't know how many laps it was left, but then nothing happened.
But think if this had been last year, this would have been a spectacular race with how many competitive cars there were, and the speed difference between many of the cars when they actually wanted to do it. And you heard Will Power talk about how the lap cars unlapped themselves. I mean, that's a sign of a bad oval race, man. If the lapped vehicles are passing the leaders, that's a...
Yeah, like the fuck... What kind of racing is that? The people that are 100% behind can catch up and overtake you and lap.
Bad sign. We saw that at Indianapolis a couple of years ago, and we've seen it here. Shaking my damn head. And it's amazing, too, that Alex Palou really didn't do anything wrong. He finally got through the pit stops. He stalled yesterday, and ironically enough, I got to speak to him. I asked him, what happened with the pit stops, and it's with the new hybrid gearbox, it's a little bit different, and it's catching some drivers out. Palou's not the only one. It's weird. You don't have the same chunk when you get into gear, so it's kind of you don't know necessarily if you're in first gear or if you have the kind of bite that you're going to need to get out of the pit. So that kind of caught out Palou yesterday. Didn't catch him out today, but he still misses out on his first oval track win, which is hard to believe as a champion of this series.
Yep.
And I suppose I will leave this on a positive note, because Will Power said in his post-race press conference, speaking to Patrick Steffen of Trackside Online, that to improve the racing, the cars just have too much weight right now. He says that he thinks that if 200 pounds came out of the cars, and remember, we just added 100 pounds to the cars, you'd really have a good racing product again. And maybe you'd be able to add a little bit more downforce and have it bring in a second groove. Maybe you'd be able to go to a softer tire and have it work.
Yeah,
Will thinks the cars are too heavy. Well, at least according to IndyCar, there's a maybe, possibly, sometime, maybe in the future, 2027 or beyond, they're going to do a new car. A new car is not a solution at all, as far as I'm concerned, because it hasn't been announced. It hasn't been formally announced. We don't have a timeline for that. So are we just supposed to sit here and let a great racetrack and great race fans here in Iowa suffer because we don't get a new chassis? Well,
yes.
I'll at least end with this. I think I have an idea of what to do with this event to help kind of bring it back and work within the difficulties of the current package and the repave, or at least the partial repave. And here's what I think you need to do. I don't think this needs to be a double header anymore. I think 2 races is one too many.
Actually true. I mean, if the first one is bad, just skip the second one.
What I would do is go to 1 race distance, perhaps a slightly longer race distance than 250 laps. I mean, maybe you don't go a full 500 laps, although the Hy-Vee 500 from a marketing standpoint would sound very good. Maybe you do 300, 350, 400 laps, and you do the entire race at night in the cool conditions, because at least yesterday's race, there was a hint, a little...
Oh, that will be something interesting. Almost like NASCAR doing. Night races. I mean, that would be amazing. I would watch that.
Kernel of hope, once the track temperatures really started cooling off, that a second groove kind of sort of developed for a little while. So I think if you ran in very cool track temps, you might be able to put on a good show here. So that's suggestion 1 for me. Run this thing at night and have it be 1 extended race rather than 2. And my solution to continue to make this a 2-day event would be that I think that, you know, we kind of saw this yesterday, although it was unintentional with the hybrid problems, but I think that they should do a qualifying day here. You know, either a Fast 6 format or something like Indy where you have 2 lanes and multiple attempts, however you want to do it. But if the strength of Iowa Speedway for the foreseeable future, because you're not going to take 200 pounds out of the car, you're not going to do a new car, if the strength here is single car speed, spectacular looking, fast Indy cars, then my solution is let's do an extended qualifying period prior to or after the concerts and bill it as a track record session. We're going to try to hit 190 miles an hour. We're going to do it under the lights. We're going to do it in ideal conditions. And we're going to make it, I don't know, worth points or worth prize money or whatever you want to call it. That's my idea, to try to work within the restrictions and the difficulties of the current IndyCar product and the current product here at Iowa Speedway. It's disappointing. It's disappointing. It hurts me when it's an oval track race that I love, and oval track races that we need more of. And
not Trident.
We put on a show like that. I'm very glad that Stingray Rob is okay and in good spirits. Like I said before, I'm really looking forward to seeing you back at the track, Stingray. Rest up, get well soon, and we'll see you soon. And again, you know, I'm sure you guys have let me know what you think in the comments section below. But
yeah,
Will Power wins his 2nd race of the year here at Iowa Speedway in a very hot and humid doubleheader. So I will be heading home, and from there we will provide coverage of the return of the Brickyard 400. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you then.
Yeah. That sounds like interesting. Have it at the night. Let's see. Yeah, then you have a video on Stingray Rob. Let's see. Can we get some more? Oh yeah, after the IndyCar. Season 2 of the House of the Dragon, episode 6 will happen. That I would say would probably 100% be more interesting than the IndyCar race. Let's see.
So it's a very...
Let's see what he have to say about the great update on Stingray Rob.
So it's a very positive update for driver Stingray Rob, who suffered that dramatic accident at the end of the Iowa Speedway IndyCar race on Sunday. We'll be talking about that, as well as some additional new comments from Ed Carpenter, speaking about his displeasure with IndyCar's very, very young hybrid era. There's also a new driver on the scene for IndyCar at Toronto, And I also want to talk about what I believe is the most exciting race car in a very, very long time. My boomer soul just a little bit revitalized because this car will be racing next year. We'll talk about that in just a second, but I always fail to do this, and I'm going to just do it up front. I'm going to remind you to subscribe to this channel. We're well on our way to 100,000 subscribers, and it's been a fantastic journey, and I look forward to keep rolling on through the years. So I appreciate all of you who have subscribed and watch, and tomorrow is going to be a pretty busy day. I've got 2 broadcast appearances that I hope you guys will tune in for. The first one, if you want to hear about Indy cars and sports cars and whatnot, I will be doing a stream for the DL500 Club starting at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. You can join at the Patreon in the link in the description and check that out. And then at 9 p.m. Eastern, if you want to hear me talk NASCAR, and in particular, the return of the Brickyard 400, which I will be covering in person this weekend, I will be on the NASCAR Weekly podcast, I believe, on the Icebergs channel, joining he and Eric Estep and Danny B. Talks to talk about NASCAR's much-anticipated return to the 2.5-mile oval at Indianapolis. So, going to be a lot of fun there. A very busy day for me. Busy week, as usual, as you guys know, when there is race day in Indianapolis. But let's talk about Stingray Rob, because, of course, there was a lot of folks concerned about his well-being after the race. And we'll start with AJ Foyt Racing's statement, which is a very positive one. After a final evaluation by IndyCar Medical, we are happy to share that Stingray has been cleared to compete this weekend in Toronto. He's looking forward to getting back behind the wheel of the number 41 Goodhart vet/Prey.com Chevrolet. Thank you to everyone who reached out and showed their support. But Stingray actually did a media conference today, although I was unable to attend. Thankfully, IndyCar posts the transcripts of these press conferences for those of us who were unable to attend to read and learn all of the information that was gained there. And Stingray had a ton of interesting things to say about that accident and about his process of getting back and cleared to race at Toronto this week. Specifically, which I thought was incredible, although I believed it having been an eyewitness to the accident myself, Stingray reported that the impact was registered at 109 Gs. That is 109 times the force of gravity. An incredibly difficult impact. In fact, Simon Pagenaud's, the one that was a career ender for him at Mid-Ohio last year, was registered at 112 Gs. So just think about that and consider that when you think about the violence of that accident.
100, what did you say? 112. The fuck did he...
Knows the one that was a career gravity. Gs. Ray reported that the impact was registered at 109 Gs.
109. Does it say anything here? Nope.
That is 109 times the force of gravity. An incredibly difficult impact. In fact, Simon Pagenaud's, the one that was a career ender for him at Mid-Ohio last year, was registered at 112 Gs. So just...
Oh, fuck. 3 Gs away.
Think about that and consider that when you think about the violence of that accident. He also reported that he briefly lost consciousness once he had been extracted by the car by the medical team, but quickly came to. His specific quote on his injuries is this. Honestly, the worst injury I got was on my finger. I touched the...
Man, I was thinking when he was taking out the car that... Man, he's really lying still. But maybe because he was not conscious when that happened.
Halo getting out of the car. Turns out when you take titanium and scrape it across the ground for a few hundred feet, it gets hot. Don't recommend. Lesson learned, says Stingray. Rob was airlifted from the track to receive a CAT scan where it came back clear. And that's, of course, why he will be racing in Toronto. Here's another quote from Stingray. The fact of the matter is I should be more hurt than I am. I don't know why I'm okay or as okay as I am. Giving glory to God for that. And, yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, man, I was on the back straightaway. I saw the whole thing develop. It was one of the most frightening crashes I've seen. I kind of said to some folks on Twitter when when it came out that it was 109 G's of impact force, a lot of folks were like, I can't believe it was that high. And, you know, I think while NBC did a great job of capturing the accident, and you saw pretty much what I saw, I don't necessarily think television captured how just violent that impact was,
because
especially the first one dropping down from that high up. I mean, that's the highest up I think I've ever seen an IndyCar fly. I mean, I guess I did see Mike Conway's crash in 2010 in person at the Indianapolis 500, but it's been a very long time since I saw a car get that high in person. And just the sheer violence of that car hitting the ground and then tumbling down the backstretch and sliding, I was very adrenaline filled. I mean, my hand was shaking for like 20 minutes after the accident. I mean, I was standing in the media center, kind of putting my equipment together to make a video, and I'm like, oh, my hand's still shaking, so I can't even imagine the forces that Stingray, you know, and what he went through actually being in the crash. It was traumatic just witnessing it. So it's great. I mean, I'm kind of surprised, honestly. I to a certain extent expected that he would be out a race at least after a crash like that, but it's just a testament to the safety, and I'm sure a little bit of luck that everything's all good with Stingray and he'll race in Toronto. So that's best case scenario. There's no doubt about it for Stingray, Rob. And I would also like to say that there is a different driver going to be driving at Toronto, although this is not necessarily, I guess it is technically a replacement, although Jack Harvey I don't think was ever intended to drive at the Honda Indy Toronto, but Hunter McElrea will make his Indy.
Yeah, we need to count some. 18, 20, 22, 24, 30, 36, 40. So plus 40. 90, 46. No, 56. 56 plus 40. Now you can continue.
IndyCar debut in the number 18 Dale Coyne racing car, which Tony DeZino on Twitter posted a really interesting stat, which is that this now makes, with McElrea making a start for Dale Coyne, this is the most drivers that Dale Coyne has ever had in a single season, and we've still got 5 races to go. So how about that? Dale Coyne full of surprises, and I still don't think we're fully 100% sure the 51 car is going to be. I believe Luca Giotto still has 1 race remaining on his initial contract with Dale Coyne. We'll see if he ends up at Toronto or if he takes a shot at Portland. But you got to imagine that Toby Sowery has certainly gotten onto that radar at this point, though who knows what the funding situation is. But well-deserved for Hunter McElrea. I'm glad he's in a seat for at least 1 race this year. Ed Carpenter stood on his content, stood on his business, I guess we'll say, stood on the comments he made at the end of Toronto yesterday, speaking with Jake Query on the local Indianapolis radio station 107.5 The Fan. The full conversation will be linked with a time code in the description if you'd like.
I used to do puzzles, paint by numbers, cross-stitch, crochet. Now, I do diamond painting. The addictively relaxing, no-mess creative craft outlet of your dreams. Make an inspirational masterpiece and let each moment shine with meditative diamond painting. Each Diamond Art Club kit includes everything you need to create a dazzling work of art at home. With a vast assortment of officially licensed, stunning designs, explore themes like animals, landscapes, popular character art, fantasy, and so much more. You're sure to find a diamond painting kit that speaks to you. Good for the soul, and no experience necessary. Unleash your creativity with Diamond Art Club today.
There's your purple. I agree.
Kom igen nu! Streama dina favoriter på TV4 Play.
Dubai is hot. But
like to listen to it. Not a ton of new information, it has to be said, from Ed Carpenter. I think it just... I think the good news about it, or not the good news, but the the newsworthy aspect of it is that Ed has had time to sleep on his comments, went on another radio station, went on another media source, and backed up what he said. I saw some comments yesterday that said, well, it's a heat of the moment, Ed crashed out, it was sour grapes. But now that he had time to sleep and look at the reaction, Ed is still standing by his comments. So I think...
Oh, let's see. Now, 13. Minecraft. Where do we have it? Minecraft. Uh, 15 base colors. 15 base colors. 15, so 13. So 2 more of Snooper, and then we are done with Snooper. Same with the glitter.
I think that certainly says something about why he made the comments that he did, and precisely how important I think he thinks it is to get that message out there. And I think the biggest point that maybe was clarified from his comments that he made after the race is that, I think I even said it when I was reading the comment. He said, well, it hasn't made a contribution to the racing. And I said, well, what he probably means is it hasn't made a positive contribution. And in listening to that particular segment of audio, that was what he specifically clarified, that, which is that he believes the hybrid does not make a positive contribution to the racing. And he was pressed by Jake Query, are there any other folks within the sport who feel the same way?
I mean, also, why middle in the season you go from normal engines to hybrid engines?
And Rossi gave a very diplomatic answer, which is that he was only speaking for himself, which frankly I got the distinct impression that he was simply not going to throw someone else under the bus who is not prepared to go public with their feelings. I mean, again, the impression I got in the paddock is mixed at best on the mid-season debut of the hybrid. So Ed's comments don't...
The only good thing, McLaren/Pato Ward won the first race.
Don't necessarily shock me. I guess I'm glad that someone made a public comment. And, frankly, I saw a lot of comments yesterday that are... I was actually surprised how much support there was for the hybrid in the comments section of yesterday's video. And I think there's a lot of copium going around right now. I think the fan base of IndyCar wants things to be good so badly that sometimes they're blinded by what is plainly obvious in front of them. I think that's my comment on some of the, what I would describe as overly positive comments about the hybrid. Now, that being said, Christian Lundgaard, and I believe I put that quote in one of my videos, was that Lundgaard said the most impact we're going to see thus far is going to be at Toronto. So I guess we'll wait and see, but certainly with an oval-heavy calendar going into the remainder of the year, I'm a little bit less than optimistic about the racing quality going forward. Palette cleanser time, because I am very excited about this. And it's not up. There we go. Now it's up. I am very excited.
Okay, so nothing from me.
About this particular race car. You might be saying, what is this, David? That's a sporty car. This ain't an open wheel racing car. This ain't an Indy car. And I would say, yes, it is. It is not, I should say. It should be an Indy car. But this is Aston Martin's new hypercar, which was tested today at Silverstone. And just look at that beast. That is just a fantastic looking car. But it gets better. Because not only is this car going to race with a 2-car program in the World Endurance Championship, but this will also race with a 1-car program in the WeatherTech Sports Car Championship. And IMSA, not sold yet. This car is powered by a V12 built by Cosworth, and it does not have a hybrid. Chassis built by Multimatic, and if you look at the center of the car, in fact, on my desk, although you can't see it in this shot, I have a Porsche 963, and the center spline of this car, as expected, makes sense because why would Multimatic design a ground-up, brand-new chassis for sports car racing? This is very much a Porsche with Aston Martin bodywork and aerodynamics. There's nothing wrong with that, I don't think. It just looks the business. And I would guess I would put it this way. This is very much a car that I would say aerodynamically is like if Ferrari designed the Porsche, because you've got that really big, complicated rear wing on the back, which also, happens to have some Glickenhaus inspiration to it. So it's essentially a Porsche 963 that's kind of mated with a.
Okay, so why is talking about this?
499 Ferrari and the 007.
We go from great update on Stingray Rob, and then we have
Glickenhaus with a V12 engine that isn't electrified whatsoever. Heart of Racing, as you can see the logo on the car in the blue. It will be running the car both in the World Endurance Championship and in IMSA. This will be the first car that is non-hybrid powered in the top class since last year when Glickenhaus and Van Wall raced in the World Endurance Championship. Currently, WEC is all hybrid, all 23 hypercars at the Le Mans 24 Hours, as well as the regular season, are all hybrid powered this year, although next year that will not be the case. At least 2 cars will not be hybrid powered, and it will be this Aston Martin kind of carrying the non-electrification banner. And then in IMSA, this will be the first car competing in the GTP class with no electrification component, which kind of goes to my point yesterday of, hey, I like to see competition. I like to see the best idea win. If you're going to have hybrid cars, let's have some non-hybrid cars and race against them. And oh, by the way, it's a V12. I'm excited, man. It's kind of one of those things. I'm jaded. I'm very quickly becoming an old man. I turned 31 on the 10th. I'm sitting here and I'm getting my walker out and I'm going, things were so much better in the past. And then something like this comes along and I go, oh, there is hope for this sport after all. There is something to look forward to. There is technology that is still fun to look at and fun to hear with your ear. There was a video posted of this car, of it going through. In fact, the screenshots, I believe, are from that video of it going through the Maggots-Beckett's complex at Silverstone. The problem was the car was off throttle, so you couldn't hear the V12. So I'm sure those videos will be coming very soon. I'm just in love. When can I buy a Spark model? That's what I want to know. So I'll leave on a positive note, and the positive note is racing can still be cool. Racing can still be fun. Sports car racing is going to be a lot of fun.
Hey, it look like the livery Alfa Tauri / Toro Rossi once time had. Okay, so that was that. Do we have anything interesting? Probably not. Let's no. No, and then we need to get the other fishes that I placed away. Now we can start putting the fishes down in the right place. The fun stuff. No fucking Minecraft music. What's happening? At least we have foxes that can give some music. Man, so many S fishes. S and K. And then mostly it will just be S. Okay. Do we have Betty? Any more Betty? Nope. Betty Orange. Betty Orange. Yeah, orange blue. Here we have orange blue. Let's see, are they? Yeah, orange. They're 14. I need Betty 100% orange. And we don't have it. Hopefully we one day will get it. No, you most likely will get it. The only thing that I'm missing. Betty Black. Black, orange. That one we also have. And then it's time for... They have one block fish. Only one briny. Green day. And Betty Green. Green gray. Do we have any Betty? Yes, we have. No, blockfish. This is Betty. Blockfish green. Blockfish cyan, flopper green. They were blockfish green. Green gray. And we had the green gray for blockfish also. Briny pink. Briny red. Briny brown. Briny black. Where can briny gray, clayfish pink? Wait, did I? No, I didn't look here. Fuck me. Pink lime. And that we also have. Let's put the bee fishes away. And then we can have some more room in the inventory. Flopper. Green, pink. I just wanna see. Yeah, music is not 100% off. Green, pink. Nice. Purple, light blue. Clayfish purple. Is it flopper purple here? Blockfish and stripey, so nothing wrong. Clayfish purple. Clayfish red. Flopper green. Clayfish blue. Purple light blue. Clayfish brown. Sound like music, but nope. Clayfish brown blue. Time for the flopper. No dasher. Only dasher was the, yeah, whatever color that was. Oh shit, -2. Yeah, there we have dasher purple. So dasher purple, -2, 1954. Flopper blue cyan. Flopper blue. Flopper blue cyan. Flopper green. Didn't I see flopper green? Flopper green pink. lime, yellow, brown, cyan, gray, white, light gray, red, magenta, black, pink. Floppy, green. Wasn't I at floppy green? Yeah, it was. Floppy green magenta. Now we have some music. Floppy green magenta. Floppy cyan. Clayfish cyan. Floppy blue. Flopper cyan. Flopper light gray. Floppy green, cob green, flopper magenta, flopper red, flopper black. The fuck is flopper cyan? Flopper purple. There, a flopper cyan. Cyan pink. And sometimes you just, for some reason, I can't see where it is. Flopper light gray. That I don't remember it. Light gray, white. Time for the glitter. Light blue, black. Light blue, black, light blue, black. Light gray. Light gray magenta. Nice. Gray. I saw it here. Gray magenta. And yes, we have. Blue. Blue, yellow, yep. Nice. Now, time for the cob. Oh, one more glitter. Gray. Oh, gray also. Gray, yellow. Then that we also have. Boring. Ah, what a weird music. Blue, yellow, grey, yellow. Let's see, Cobb, and then we will have Snooper. Snooper. And then we take Spotty. Stripey. Oh shit. Stripey, stripey. Oh, only one sunstreak. White. Cobb white. Cobb white. Cobb blue, Cobb grey, Cobb pink, Cobb light blue, Cobb green, Cobb white, white brown. Cobb green, green lime. Oh, nice. Let's see how many are there. There are 1, 2, 3, 4. 6. That's the question. Should I maybe start? I mean, how many places do I have? Only 1, 2, 3 more. And it will just be more annoying to but I given everyone else one chest by themselves. Well, until let's get a problem. We keep putting down chest. Oh, let's see. This was Cobb. Could it be lime? Lime. Kym. Don't have it on me, nope. No, it was green. Okay, green lime. So I was right with writing green first. But I thought lime because the last fish was lime. Okay, Cobb grey. Cobb grey, Cobb green, Cobb. God damn it. Okay, Cobb green lime. Okay, I need to place them right. Cobb. Yeah, Cobb grey. Grey, light blue. And that one we have. Now I maybe remember to place that right. Cob white. Cob white. I believe cob white was here. My memory is wrong. Was the other side? You have cob white. White lime. But then we need to do that now. We don't have room. Annoying. Okay, we can maybe succeed with this. Yeah, here you folks. Need to do it in order, or else I done it the wrong way. Magenta purple. Wait. Yes, no. Magenta purple. Purple. Do we have one purple? We have. What is it? 9, 15, 17. 3 more, and it will still be good. Over that, we started to being bad. Yellow, brown. Nice. Sign brown. I don't believe we have a sign spot here. And we have. And we have sign brown also. Spot the yellow. Spot the yellow blue. Okay. Spot the yellow. Spot the yellow. Spot the yellow. So many stripy. Only one sunstreak. 2 more. Spotty, light grey, yellow. Light blue. Yellow. Nice. Light grey, yellow. Grey magenta. Grey magenta. Lime red stripy. And that one we have. Purple blue. Wait. Okay. Stripy blue red. What the fuck did I do? God damn it. Purple didn't we have? Yes. Then stripy green. Green lime. Blue. Stripy lime orange. Lime orange. Orange white. Man, so many blue. At least the loss of this will be easy to do. Yellow sign when I do the also Minecraft music hype. Yellow cyan. We need to look for purple and blue. Stripy purple. Yeah, here we have the stripy purple. Stripy purple blue. And that one we have a stripy blue. Blue, grey, light grey. Blue, red. Blue versus red. That we also have. 7. 15. 19, 26. God damn it. That's bad. So it was 40 minus 2, 38. Only plus 12. 7, 9, 18, 22, 28. Yeah, only 12 plus. Oh shit, that did wrong order. This one I should have made. Okay, then we do this maybe fast. Orange, blue. Yep. Orange, blue. Wait, what? Black, orange. Yes. Green, day. Blockfish, green. Green, gray. Pink, and then lime. Clayfish, purple. Glitter, purple. Clayfish, brown. Clayfish, purple. Clayfish, purple, clayfish. Clayfish, purple. Come on, give me. Let me find it. Clayfish, red. Clayfish, cyan. Clayfish, purple. There we have it. Purple, light blue. Clayfish, brown. Brown, blue. Flopper, blue. Flopper, orange. Flopper black, red und Flopper blue. Flopper cyan. Flopper purple. Flopper yellow, det var Flopper blue. Flopper blue, cyan. Flopper green. No, but we have no Flopper cyan. There, Flopper green Magnanta. Flopper cyan. A lot of cyan, but not Flopper cyan. Cob cyan, det var Flopper cyan. Cyan pink. Flopper light gray. Light gray white. And now we are soon done. Glitter, light blue black. Gray Magnanta. Blue yellow. Gray yellow. Cob white. It was in the corner somewhere. I believe they have white, brown. Cob gray. Cob gray, and then we get to the S Fishers. Cob gray, cob blue, cob pink, cob gray, and light blue. Snooper Magnanta. Sunstreak Magnanta. Snooper Magnanta purple. Magnanta purple. spot design wasn't, it was here. Spot design brown. Yes. Spotty gray. Gray Magnanta. Gray Magnanta. Striped lime red. Lime red. Striped purple. Purple blue. Striped green. Sunstrike green. Nope. Green lime. Blue, we had a problem with. Striped lime. Lime orange. Striped orange. Orange white. There we have it. 2 left, striped blue. Light gray. Blue, light gray, and then blue red. Nice. Let's see. $18, $20, $22, $24, $26, minus $26. $19, $26, $30, $28. Minus 26, and we should write that down. Minus 26. Copy. Should be 26, not 27, and it's 26. Save. No, fuck. Okay, so 1928. Let's pick this up. Now we go and place the fishes down, and then when we end the stream. And tomorrow, practice 3, race, sprint race for Formula 3 and Formula 2, qualifying for Formula 1, qualifying for IndyCar. And yeah, we will see. Can Hopefully Mercedes will be bad. Let's see. Batty orange blue, Batty black orange, black fish, blockfish green gray, brownie pink lime, clayfish purple light blue, clayfish brown blue, flopper blue cyan, flopper green magenta, flopper cyan pink, flopper light gray white. Fucking chicken. Glitter light blue black, glitter gray magenta, glitter blue yellow, glitter gray yellow, cob white brown, cob gray light blue, snooper magenta purple, spotty cyan brown, spotty grey magenta, stripy lime red, stripy purple blue, stripy green lime, stripy blue light grey, stripy lime orange, stripy blue red, stripy orange white. And I don't remember what bucket was which. Okay, the one to the left. Okay, nice. So this one and then this one. Let's see if we can get some more fishes before we end it. Probably not, but we can always be lucky. Nope. Okay. Then we're done. Done for today. Let's see. 1928. 1928. Nineteen 1928. That's done. Oh shit. Yeah. So tomorrow all the stuff will happen. Hopefully Mercedes will be bad. Hopefully Red Bull and Perez will have a really great day. But until then.